How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What is up, Will?
What up, what up?
And welcome everybody to Story of the Fight. My name is Ramiro, that's my boy Will, and this is where we talk all things combat sports. Today, we're not really going to be covering any UFC event that happened over the weekend because we didn't have one, Will.
No. We are going to be covering Paige Van Zandt versus an OnlyFans model. Just kidding.
Oh,
We're not.
I was going to say, that's a surprise to me because I did not watch that. I didn't want to waste my time.
No.
But we will be covering UFC 301, making some predictions.
302. UFC
Sorry, 302. UFC 302, making some predictions for 302. And then hopefully we have some folks joining us live, can make some predictions on their end as well. Maybe we compare after 302 to see who had the most correct picks.
Yeah, that's cool.
Before we do, though, Will, I want to remind everybody, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're trying to reach 13,000 subscribers on the slow climb over to 20,000.
Yeah, I think we only need like 200, maybe a little bit less now. Something like that.
Subscribe. But if you don't like watching, but you like listening, you have other options. What are those options, Will?
Yeah, just go to storyfight.com. It'll list all our socials. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. Story of the Fight everywhere. Makes it super easy. Storyofthefight.com. If you want the Pride shirt, Story of the Fight podcast. If you want that, it's on there.
Who doesn't?
Storyofthefight.com.
Who doesn't, dude? Everybody should want that. But yes, so we got UFC 302 main event. Will, your boy Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev.
That's my boy Dustin. It's a tough matchup. He's got a tough one.
It's a very tough matchup, man. It should be a fun fight. Dustin Poirier, hey, probably his last shot at the title, huh?
Yeah, even he said he's like, this is potentially my last fight in general, but probably the last title shot for sure. He's like, I don't know if I want to climb that ladder again if I don't get this, which is understandable, but not necessarily what you want to be seeing from a challenger leading up to the fight.
Yeah, 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah, but it's also like, it's just being realistic. And some say like, oh, you need to be like delusional to get to the top, like you have to have that crazy confidence and be delusional. I don't know if you need to be when you're a guy like Dustin, though, who's been there, who's attempted it multiple times, who got the interim belt. Like, I think you can start to be a little bit more pragmatic. I don't think you need to be like, it's this or nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that alarming for me when it's Dustin compared to like some other people.
I mean, I think it'd be different if he showed up, in a different manner against Saint Denis. But we got same old Dustin. And you know what? Dustin against Saint Denis was probably thinking the exact same thing. He was probably thinking, if I lose to Saint Denis right now, like I'm gonna fall further back on the rankings. How much longer before I actually get another title shot? Do I really want to go through this? So let's be real. He was probably already thinking that against Saint Denis, and he showed up big time.
Yeah, probably. Hey, shout out Nicholas Maracas.
What up, Nicholas? Thanks for joining us, Nicholas. Maybe you can make some prediction picks along with us as we go. But hey, going into this fight, Islam coming in the heavy favorite, man. Minus 600. Dustin plus 425. Dustin likes being the underdog.
He's a dog. What a better place to be if you're a dog.
You know who else he was an underdog against? Habib.
Yeah. How many times has he cashed in as the underdog, though? I would imagine it's quite a few times.
He's mentioned the fact that he doesn't mind it at all. He actually thrives off of it, right? So he was a dog against Saint Denis.
He probably was against Conor too, right? Second time, I would imagine.
I can't remember against Conor, but I know he was a dog against Conor that first time.
Well, yeah, that didn't work out, but but I'm sure he's been multiple times. He's been the underdog. I think he might have even been against Max Holloway. But that being said, everyone's saying this is basically the same fight as the Habib fight. It shouldn't go any differently. I disagree. I don't think it's quite the same. I think Islam's much more willing to stand and trade on the feet, which obviously plays into Dustin's favor because Dustin's got to play the floor as lava in this one. He cannot be jumping guillotines and accepting the bottom game. He ain't never gonna stop. But yeah, I think Islam, he's so good and so measured. He doesn't really get careless out there, which I don't want to say that Dustin's only chance is like Islam making a mistake on the feet and catching him, because Dustin's clearly a very good striker and he can set things up and he can trap Islam on the feet and catch him on his own. He doesn't need a mistake to capitalize. That being said, Habib's out there talking about how they have a very specific plan now for this one and that Islam should get it done in a second. And you're like, well, if Habib's saying that, that's I hold his word highly on stuff like that.
No, for sure, man. Look, so Islam beats Oliveira, right? And then after that, defends his title twice, both against Volk, who
is a
not a
featherweight.
natural lightweight. He's a featherweight, right? So would you consider this like his first real title defense? No, diss on Volk, because Volk's one of the best fighters. But I mean,
I wouldn't say so. I would say the first Volk fight was for sure a real title defense because Volk prepped for that. He had a full camp for that. That's probably the best Volk. Yeah, those people are wrong, but I think that's probably the closest to a lightweight Volk as we'll ever see. So I feel like that should count. Second one, it counts as title defense, but it was short notice. The featherweight stepping up, out of camp, all this stuff. It still counts, but this is a legitimate lightweight title defense here.
Yeah,
which is good. It's good. This is good because Islam's so far really the only knock people can have on Islam, and I see it all the time, is that he hasn't beaten anybody. He doesn't have the resume. And it's like, all right, well, everybody was ducking him on the way up. It's not really his fault. And then they're like, well, he only defended his belt against featherweight twice and no lightweights. And it's like, again, they wanted to do the pound for pound thing. He was gonna defend it against another lightweight, and he got injured. It's not Islam's fault that Charles got the cut. So like, there's always this knock that like his resume isn't very good. He didn't fight very many guys in the top 10 to get the title shot. He fought Bobby Green and Drew Dober. That being said, you play the cards that you're dealt, and now that he's the champ, there's that quote. What's that quote he has that they put it up in the PI where it's like, once you're the champ, like it doesn't matter who's like on the other side of you, you just never say no. And it's like, damn, that's how champs should be. He's not out there picking money fights. He's not talking, like, just give me the next guy. I'll beat him. It happens to be Dustin. It could have been Gaethje. So I feel like it's never been a case of him strategically picking fights. You know what I mean?
For sure. And then, for Dustin, last 4 fights, he has a couple losses. One to Gaethje, one to Oliveira, but he also has a couple wins. Once against Chandler and one against Saint-Denis. Who are you picking?
My brain wants to say Islam, but Dustin's my boy.
You're going Dustin.
I'm going Dustin. I can't not pick him. I can't.
Okay.
I think Islam stylistically is a terrible matchup for Dustin. I think Dustin at this point in his career, I don't know how he's going to handle takedowns from Islam. And once he gets down, Islam's so good at getting to the finish. But Dustin's a dog, dude. You can't count that out. They're fighting on Lafayette Street out there in Newark. Come on. He's never lost in June. Dustin's my boy.
Oh, dang. Do you busting out some ESPN, those weird ESPN stats?
That Louisiana
they're
voodoo,
like 3-0 when it's a crescent moon. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, dude. Dustin thrives on shit like that, dude. That's that Louisiana voodoo, dude.
The voodoo, yeah. The dark arts, as Devon calls them. All right, man. Well, you know what? Give me Islam. And I know it might just seem like the easy pick, but
it's the right pick.
Yeah. He's just had multiple opportunities Dustin has, and he just always seems to come up short. I think he's a fantastic bridesmaid. I just don't know if he'll be able to be the champ, dude. And against Islam,
it's tough.
Islam in his prime.
One thing that I will say though is when they're like, he's got a specific game plan where he will get the finish in the second. It's like, man, when you have a specific game plan and things go wrong, Dustin catches them early, wobbles them, and all of a sudden this changes things. It's like, what's that backup? Is there a backup plan? Probably. They're smart. They get it. They get the fight game. But whenever there's like a stringent game plan, it's like, hey, man, there's another guy in there who can knock that off the rails.
My guess is that he has had 26 stringent game plans, and it only went awry once. You know what I mean? So
when he got knocked out by a flyweight.
I kind of trust the fact that they have a solid game plan, man. And he
Yeah.
just keeps on getting better and better too, man. It's nuts.
Yeah,
It's
he's
nuts.
good.
All right. So that's what we have so far. Is Richard Casual keeping track? We got
I don't know. We probably should
have talked about that before that, huh? But yeah, so we got Will with Dustin Poirier, and I am picking Islam Makhachev. All right, we'll go on to the co-main event if you're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
We have Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. Strickland coming in the minus 200 favorite, Costa plus 170. Who you got in this one? What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
he's got the secret juice in this picture.
Yeah, and we got Sean Strickland. I think, man, it's tough because you just really have no idea what Paulo Costa is gonna show up. Like, is it the drunk on wine Paulo Costa? Is it the Terminator?
Who's fun, by the way?
Yeah, they're all fun. All of them are fun. It's just not all of them. Not all of them get wins. His best win in the past 5 years is Luke Rockhold, which is not what you really want.
And even that fight was very competitive, more than we thought it would.
It was competitive, but that was in like Salt Lake City, I think, right? That was I don't really, just two.
Why do they not allow the secret juice there?
No, it's just altitude. They fight like shit there. But I think you go back to that Yoel fight, and it was just like a firefight. The Marvin Vettori fight was a pretty good firefight. The Robert Whittaker fight, I think he hurt Rob at one point, but Rob's such a master technician that they're like he's so tactical in there. Sean Strickland, this is like two guys who don't want to fight on their back foot, which is always good. You always like to see fights like that. Two guys that need to be moving forward to implement their game. Sean obviously wants to walk you down with a jab. Paulo wants to just berserk through you. I think in a 3-round fight, I think Sean takes this.
Oh, really?
I do. I think. What did you say the odds were?
We have Sean Strickland minus 200, Costa plus 170.
Yeah, I just don't think. I think Paulo is such a strong brute fighter that I don't think he has the setups to get through the Sean defense across 3 rounds. I think if they were for 5 rounds, maybe it'd be a little different because I think there's more time for him to catch him once. But I think for 3 rounds, I think Sean probably keeps him at bay, and I think he might turn this into a very boring fight. This could be a banger. Costa could catch Sean, and Sean, it could be, Sean on skates for a while, and it could be a fun, interesting fight. But I would not be surprised if this is kind of a little bit of a dud, and it's Paulo Costa not being able to.
Paulo Costa, dude, running in with the secret juice. And look, Sean Strickland's very good, right? He beat Izzy for the title.
Yeah.
Part of me makes me think, and part of me feels like that was lightning in a bottle. I think Adesanya beat Strickland 9 times out of 10, and Strickland we just saw that one time. And look, he had beat Nasruddin Imavov, Abus Magomedov, and Izzy. So he was on a 3-fight win streak, right? But right before that, he also lost to Jared Cannonier, Alex Pereira. So he seems to have a little bit of a harder time as he starts reaching that really higher echelon in the division, which Paulo Costa has been sitting up there for quite some time. Now, I'm not saying that Paulo Costa has the power that an Alex Pereira has, but we've seen that Sean Strickland can get caught.
Yeah. But I think his defense has evolved since then. And for me, Paulo Costa, really that Yoel fight is like his only good win, in my opinion. It's like he's been at the top, but like how much of that is because there's all this drama? Well, yeah. How much of it is all the drama of getting him a fight? If he's been fighting this whole time, would he still be at the top?
Yeah, that's a very good point too.
And Dricus Du Plessis beat Sean Strickland for the belt in a fight that some people thought Strickland won. I had Dricus winning that, but
and I guess you could say the same about Paulo Costa, right? Because he beats Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero, Uriah Hall, but loses to Izzy, Vettori, and Whittaker. So same thing. Facing the upper echelon of the division seems to be a lot harder for Paulo Costa.
I I
So
think
maybe this
too,
is one of those where we just really discover who should be at the top of the division, right? In the top 5.
yeah. Well, I think Dricus du Plessis also is such like he's a berserker too when he wants to be. There's so many videos of him just running at people, throwing his arms at them. Um, and Sean did very well against him. Never really got hurt. There was like the one, I think, elbow that cut him, but like never really was like almost out of there or anything like that. And du Plessis hits like a truck, dude. He hits like a
Mhm.
truck. I mean, look what he did to Rob Whitaker
Yeah,
with that
yeah.
power jab, you know? Um, yeah, I think Sean, especially with uh, his coach, Nixon, like they got Paulo Costa down, I think. I
Mm.
think they got him.
I don't know. Paulo Costa's been watching videos of Strickland. I don't know if you saw his recent posts, but
Yeah.
really admiring that singlet, you know. So,
Yeah.
but no, give me Paulo Costa, man. I think he's gonna be too much for Strickland. Overpowering.
We'll see
Costa
that.
has shown that granite chin over and
Yeah.
over and over again, except for against Izzy, but against everybody else, right? Like he could take a beating, man. And so I think that even if Strickland is peppering with those lighter shots, higher
Mhm.
volume, Costa will be showing up and showing out with the power shots, kind of like against
Yeah.
Duplessis, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, I
because
don't think Sean has the ability to stop Costa in his tracks,
no,
but he's gonna have to work on foot. He's gonna
the
win this with
Brazilian Hulk, dude, come on,
yeah. If Sean takes this, it's off of footwork and the jab,
yeah,
100%.
for
It's
sure.
not about catching Costa coming in and stifling him and stopping him in his tracks and making Costa fight scared or anything like that. Like it's evasive matador style performance if he gets it done.
Well, there you go. Will taking Strickland. I'm taking Paulo Costa. And we'll go on to the next fight. Another fun one. We have Kevin Holland versus Oleksiejczuk. Now, taking a
Style
look at
wise,
the real quick. Kevin Holland
yeah.
minus 238. Oleksiejczuk plus 175.
Yeah. I think Oleksiejczuk at 175 is not a bad underdog pick on this card. But that being said, I think he's a little too tenacious because he wants to close the distance. He wants to beat you up against the fence, that type of stuff,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Which honestly, not a good matchup for Holland. Holland doesn't want to be fighting people, shouldn't be fighting people who are trying to hold him down. That's like the worst person for Holland to be fighting. But
Yes.
Holland fighting somebody who is going to have that forward pressure nonstop, that's good. That's good for Kevin Holland. I think Kevin
Yes.
Holland is so good at catching people on the end of his punches as they walk in on him. I think Kevin Holland gets a finish in this one.
Okay. All right. I mean, Oleksiejczuk just lost in March to Michelle
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Pereira.
yeah,
Not that long ago, right? He got rocked, then he gets choked out. Quick fight, so I could see why he's bouncing back. Man, a lot of these fighters, they get that loss and it just eats away at them, and they need to get it
yeah.
back like ASAP, right?
Gotta correct
Not
this.
sure if Kevin Holland's the guy to get it back against.
No, and they're
Um,
both in that spot, by the way. When did Kevin
yes,
Holland
because
lose to Venom Page?
Michael Venom Page, he lost to him in March as well. I think it was actually the exact same card,
Was it?
299.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
UFC 299. Both of them, losing. They're like, hey, do you just want to fight each other like soon?
Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
I
But
like
Kevin
both these
Holland,
guys so much.
oh, for sure. Kevin Holland on the 2-fight losing streak right now. He had lost to Jack Della Maddalena right before that.
Mhm.
But before that, he had beat Michael Chiesa, Ponzinibbio. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride ever since he went on that hot streak, huh?
Yeah, well, that's what happens. You go on a hot streak, you start fighting the top, and then it's hard to stay on a hot streak.
Yeah, he loses. I mean, he beats Tim Means and Alex Oliveira, loses to Hamzat and Steven Thompson, beats Santiago Ponzinibbio and Michael Chiesa, loses Jack Della Maddalena and Venom Page.
Yeah.
2-2. So, hey, he's due for a 2-fight win streak now.
True.
If
Yeah.
we're following this, you know what? Based off that, give me Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
He's about to go on a 2-fight win streak. I'm about to place a bet that he goes on a 2-fight win streak, not just that he beats Oleksiejczuk.
There
History
you go.
shows, dude. History
This one
shows.
and the next one.
Yeah. Whoever he's fighting next, unless it's anybody in the top 10, then I take it back.
Yeah.
Then I take it back. But either way, I agree with you. Kevin Holland does such a good job of fighting like a taller fighter, like a fighter that
Yeah.
has the range against his opponent.
Mhm.
Creative with the strikes, right? So give me Kevin Holland on this one.
Yeah, I just think like he struggled so much with the Michael Venom Page fight because every time he'd go into trade, Michael Venom Page was out again. He was back out. Whereas Oleksiejczuk knows one direction and it's towards you. So like he will be there. It's just a matter of if he can smother Holland, which he might be able to do. We've seen Holland get smothered, and Oleksiejczuk, we've seen him smother people. But I think Holland's quick, man. He's a sharpshooter too.
All right, man. We can move on to the next one. We have Jailton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov.
Yeah,
we have Almeida minus 250, Romanov plus 180.
Yeah, this fight has potential to be absolutely horrible. This could be real bad. But I think Jailton Almeida gets a finish in this one. I think he finishes him with ground and pound.
Really?
Yeah, Romanov is very good. They're both very good grapplers.
Why'd you have to use that picture for Romanov, man? That's messed up.
Hey, man, it's the best one I could find. That's power right there. That's pure power.
Oh, man.
I think Romanov, he's such a good grappler, but he slows down so much.
Significantly, yes.
Yeah, and the last fight, I think that it was the last fight he had where he didn't really slow down all that crazy. There wasn't that like huge drop off against Blagoy Ivanov. But I think eventually Jailton will end up on top, and I think the defensive grappling from Romanov, I think that's what gasses him out. So him working on that defense on the ground against Almeida, I think eventually he's just going to slow down, and Almeida's going to be able to have his way with him a little bit. I think we get a ground and pound finish.
Okay. Well, I mean, Almeida looking for a bounce back, right? He just recently lost to, was it Curtis Blades?
Yeah, shout out Curtis Blades.
Yeah. But before that was on an absolute tear since coming into the UFC. A lot of people saying he was like the boogeyman, coming in. Nobody really wanted to fight him. Curtis Blades like, dude, I've seen this before.
Yeah. I thought he should have stayed at light heavyweight, if I'm being honest.
Same.
I think his style, I think, would have worked a lot better at light heavyweight.
Who do you think has the better cardio going into this? Like, who's been working on their cardio since their last fight?
I think Almeida. I don't think Almeida's ever had any cardio issues that I remember, at least.
It seemed like he was gassing out a little against Curtis Blades.
I don't think so. I think he was, because I mean, his cardio against Derek Lewis was like nonstop the entire time. He never slowed down. Curtis Blades, I think, just stuffed that takedown and started landing some nasty blows on him where he thought he was maybe safe. I think it was more rocked than tired. But I think
so.
I think so. But I think this one, I mean, Romanov hits like a truck, and there's always like that chance that he's going to catch him coming in, just like Curtis Blades did. But I think that's his only shot. Like, I don't think he's going to out grapple Almeida and get a finish or even control him for the whole fight. I just don't think he has a gas tank to do that.
Yeah. No, and I'm with you, man. Small setback going up against Curtis Blades, who's one of the top in the division, right?
Yeah, he's fighting for a belt now.
Yeah, going up against Romanov. What's Romanov ranked right now?
Is he?
Romanov is ranked 13th.
Okay.
13th. Jailton Almeida ranked 7th. So, this might be the UFC saying, hey, let's get you back on the right track, man. Let's start building you up again. Here's Romanov, right? Let's start building that name up again. So give me Almeida.
Do you think what's the bet or the pick on? Do you think he opens up the fight with a front kick to takedown again? He's done it like 6 times.
I wonder if there's a bet on that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think he probably does. Against Romanov, I think he does. Hey, he
extra
didn't
point for you, maybe?
Blades.
Extra point for you? Like, if we're tied by the end, maybe we go based off of that, whether that's his first entry or not.
Yeah, okay.
All right, man. Let's move on to the next one. We have Brown versus Zeleski. Zeleski coming in, the underdog plus 135. Brown, the favorite minus 155. Honestly, when it's this close, Will, I feel like this is Vegas' way of saying it's a pick'em fight, huh?
Yeah, agreed. Randy Brown, he's on a 2-fight win streak. Yeah, he knocked out my boy, Muslim Salikov. His only loss in the past 4 years was against Jack Della. Not a bad loss. Well, it was the way he lost, but it was no slouch.
Yep.
Zeleski beat Benoit Saint-Denis, but then tested positive for steroids like immediately after. I don't know how that wasn't switched to a no contest, but who knows? But in the picture right there, if you see he just knocked somebody out, who do you think that is there?
Sean Strickland?
Yes, it is Sean
Yeah.
Strickland because he knocked out Sean Strickland. It's like a wheel kick or something, right? Didn't he?
Spinning hook kick, it says here.
Oh,
Followed up by some punches.
Followed him up. But yeah, Zeleski dos Santos has always been very fun to watch. But I don't think he'll be able to deal with the length of Randy Brown in this one. Who'd you say the favorite was? Was it Randy Brown?
Randy Brown.
I think that's right. I think he
Yeah, it
probably
was
takes
very
it.
close though. Minus 155 plus 135.
Yeah. If you haven't watched, Randy Brown has been making videos on the new gloves, which they will be debuting on this event, I think. But he's been making videos on them and like really going into detail on them on his YouTube channel. Pretty cool.
Yeah, is he liking them?
I think so. Seems like it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, give me Brown as well. Again, only lost to Jack Della Maddalena. That was in my notes actually. And so, dude, look at the people he's also been beaten, right? Trinaldo, that guy seems like, even though he's 60 years old.
Oh, I love Trinaldo, dude.
Yeah, he always brings it.
When they let him go, I was like, "What are you doing?"
Chaos Williams.
Yeah.
Wellington Turman's another fighter that's ascending right now. And to your point, Sokolov. Right? Yeah, man. So he's been putting in some work. And this should be a fun fight.
Yeah, this is a good fight.
You think this one goes the distance?
No, I think Randy Brown probably gets a TKO here.
Nice. So you're going Brown. I'm going Brown in this one too. Man, now I think the only one that we picked that's different so far then. Oh no. Actually the first two we picked different. I went with Costa. Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. All right. We can move on to the next one then. Where we have is that Chase Hooper again? We have Kopylov versus Almeida. Kopylov coming in the favorite minus 204, Almeida plus 150.
Yeah, this one I think the odds are horribly wrong. I think they should be much bigger in Kopylov's favor.
Really?
Yeah, I think Kopylov is so good, dude. I think he's so good.
Just recently lost to Anthony Hernandez, rear naked choke. Before that, beat Josh Fremd, Claudio Ribeiro, Punahele Soriano, and Alessio De Chirico.
Yeah, I think the recent loss I think is probably why the odds are closer. But I think he just understands the game so well at such a high level that I think it takes like something weird's going to have to happen in this fight. I think for him to lose. He's just
and this is
good. He's vicious.
Cesar Almeida's just his second fight in the UFC.
Yeah,
and he's 5-0. Yep, and he's 5-0. So, I mean, it shows that Kopylov at least has the experience over Almeida.
Yeah, but Almeida was a kickboxer, right? Almeida, I think he used to fight in Glory.
He does have a longer record here in
Alex
kickboxing.
Pineda? I think he fought Alex Pineda.
Yep, loss.
Well,
to Alex Pineda, but he also has they went back to back.
Yeah.
So he lost to Alex Pineda, rematch, beat Alex Pineda, and then lost again to Alex Pineda.
Yeah, not bad. But I think Kopylov is just way more complete. I think he's so much more complete. I got him. That's my boy.
Man,
you're like after seeing these Alex Pineda results.
Well, not just that, right? But it just makes more sense to pick Kopylov. Just makes more sense to pick Kopylov. Just I'm going solely based off the MMA experience.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. But you know what? Will? I'm feeling a little crazy here.
Oh.
Give me Almeida by KO because we know Kopylov, more well-rounded fighter, but he does like to trade.
That's true.
So I'm saying give me Almeida.
Okay.
And I'm trusting Vegas in this one because Vegas is saying, while Kopylov is favored, it's only a plus 150 for Almeida. He's a smaller underdog.
Yeah,
they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, this is where I don't agree with the odds makers. I think this one should be much more spread Because I think the Almeida fights, when he fought Pereira, it was like such a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it was a long time ago.
20 years ago.
No, maybe 10. I don't know, but like I think it.
11 years ago. Last time he
Okay.
actually fought him. That's when the trilogy started. Was 11 years ago.
Mhm.
Last time he actually fought him was 9 years ago.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's one of those things that looks better on paper than it really means in the UFC.
Is this the Pereira to Izzy? You know, like
He's like, I'm
Pereira
coming.
followed Izzy in, and
Yeah.
then Almeida's like, I'm gonna follow Pereira in.
He was at a bar and saw Pereira get the belt and was like,
Yeah, exactly. We need a fourth fight.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny, dude. All right, we can move on to the next one. We have, let me see here. Looks like Dawson versus Zeleski. Zeleski coming in the underdog plus 210. Dawson minus 250. Who you got, Will?
I agree with the odds makers on this one. I think Selecki is so good on the ground, but it's all jiu-jitsu based, and I don't think that elite wrestling can nullify jiu-jitsu at this point in MMA, and I think Dawson's wrestling will
Especially when
nullify
it's at the level
Selecki's.
of Dawson. Man, Dawson's legit.
Exactly. Yeah, I think his wrestling will nullify Selecki's jiu-jitsu. That being said, Selecki can crack, man, and we saw Grant Dawson just get finished by Bobby Green. I think he's taken a decent amount of time off between then, but
Mm.
I think Selecki is a good grappler. He might be able to defend some of the initial takedowns from Grant Dawson, and he might catch him on the feet. That being said, I think unless Selecki catches him and knocks him out, I think Dawson probably takes him down, grinds him out, and gets a decision here.
Yeah,
That's my pick is Dawson.
I'm picking Dawson as well. I think the wrestling is going to be too much for Selecki, and that's strictly what I'm going off of, man. Just too much for him.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll move on to the next one. We're probably just going to blow through these last ones here, honestly.
Yeah, we're getting down to the bottom.
There's not much to talk about. Yeah. We got Jake Matthews versus Phil Rowe. Jake Matthews coming in the favorite minus 155. Phil Rowe plus 135.
That's a pick 'em. I really, really like this fight. Both these guys have had their ups and downs, and sometimes they look like absolute world-class guys out there who hit their flow state, and you're like, "This guy's incredible." And then, like, the next fight, they'll struggle, and you're like, "Wait, what happened to the last guy?" Both these guys have kinda had that up and down. I really, really like this fight. I'm not sure who I'm picking yet. I might have to think about this while we talk about it.
Yeah, man. I mean, just taking a look at their last few fights, right? Like, let me go through Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews lost to Michael Morales, decision. Beat Darius Flowers, rear naked choke. Lost to Semmelsberger, decision. Beats Andre Fialho, right cross. Lost to Sean Brady, arm triangle choke. Beat Diego Sanchez. You mentioned
I got Jake Matthews.
You mentioned roller coaster fight, right? Roller coaster career, really. And then let's take a look at Rowe. He lost to Neil Magny. Everybody, has fought Neil Magny, I feel like, and he's a tough out.
A lot of them have lost.
Beat Nico Price. Okay.
Not bad.
Beat Jason Witt. All right. Yeah. Give me Matthews, dude.
I think Matthews has the ability to mix it up a lot more. If he's struggling on the feet, I think he can get the takedown on Phil Rowe and out grapple him. I think the Morales decision loss was a close fight, and Morales, I'm super high on Morales. Matthews really has only lost to you list those names, Semmelsberger, savage. Sean Brady, very, very good. And then before that, it's 2018. I don't really care about anything back then. It's not really relevant, but he's struggled against some top guys. But Phil Rowe, I don't think he's ever lost to somebody at the level of Phil Rowe. And at this point, you get a little bit into what I like to call Wikipedia picks, where you're looking at records and that's how you're deciding the picks rather than styles. But I do think, Matthews is. I think he just is a more complete fighter, and I don't think Phil Rowe has like the one-punch knockout power that he would need to catch and finish the fight on Jake Matthews. So even if he hurts Jake Matthews has that takedown in his back pocket if he needs it. And I think that
You know who would
that could be the
disagree that
difference
he
maker.
doesn't have the power? Nico
Who's that?
Price.
Yeah, well, Nico Price
Nico
gets knocked
Price.
down a
So
lot.
we have Alex Morono minus 310 versus Nico Price plus 260. The reason I mentioned that is because when you take a look at Nico's price, last 5 fights, he's won 1 against Alex Oliveira, but he's lost 4. He lost to Vicente Luque, get it. Michel Pereira, been on a tear. Lost to Phil Rowe due to punches, and lost to Robbie Lawler due to a hook.
That clinch striking from Robert Lawler was so sick in that retirement fight.
Oh, dude, that was such a good way to go out, man.
Yeah, you can't write it up any better.
Oh, fantastic. But you know what? I'm just gonna go right off the bat and say give me Alex Morono. You know, his record as of late has shown
he's a dog, dude.
He's a dog. And also fought Court McGee, who's doing pretty well right now. Lost to Joaquin Buckley. We've seen what Joaquin Buckley's doing, but he beat Tim Means, Semmelsberger, Mickey Gall, Donald Cerrone. Yeah, man. Give me Morono.
Morono's
been doing this for a while, dude.
Yeah, he's got that very specific, unique style too that is just fun to watch for me.
Unique nickname too, the Great White.
Yeah, well,
you can take that plenty of ways.
Yeah, he's a shark.
You know, yeah.
Favorite movie's Jaws. He's my boy though, dude. I think he probably gets the win here. I wouldn't be surprised if he catches Nico, honestly, and gets a TKO or something.
Yeah. Give me Morono as well. Next fight, we have Basil Hafez minus 350 versus Mickey Gall plus 280. Who do you have in this one?
I got give me Hafez. I think, well, we talk about it all the time where someone comes in on short notice on a debut and they show out and you're like, how good is this guy really? Was it just lightning in a bottle? Was it because it was a specific matchup that it just worked out that way and the other guy was prepared for somebody else, so they got to show out? You know, the classic example is Lando Venata versus Tony Ferguson, where he looks like a champ and then struggles for the rest of his career. But I think this is a very good, appropriate match for Hafez for his second UFC fight.
It's the start of his ascension.
I think so.
You know, and I think the UFC knows this. I think they saw something in him when he fought Jack Della Maddalena and thought what would be a good matchup to get his name going. No disrespect to Mickey Gall. But for me, this should be an easy W for Hafez.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is a very. I think he's gonna. There's a very real chance that he comes out of this weekend as like one of the guys people are talking about. Like, oh, did you see this guy? You know what I mean? Like, this is like a potential eye-catching fight for him.
Dude, it's crazy to think too that Mickey Gall was 1-0 when he goes into the UFC, and it was just like a perfect storm, right?
Yeah,
like they're looking for somebody to fight CM Punk. Yeah, it really is. Looking for somebody to fight CM Punk. Dana White's looking for a fight where he's going through traveling, looking for different fighters. He gets a rear naked choke against Ron Templeton. You know who that guy is? You might remember him from Dead Series 17 regional event. And Mickey Gall goes out there and says, Dana, I want CM Punk. And Dana's like, actually, that's not a bad idea. You know, so dude, turns
out it was.
But since then, I mean, think about it. He goes in and beats Mike Jackson, rear naked choke. CM Punk, rear naked choke. Sage Northcutt, rear naked choke. And then from there, it's just been all over the place, right? But at first, everybody's like, man, Dana was a genius. Saw this kid, brought him in, you know, especially when he beat Sage Northcutt, because everybody knows that name, right? And you know, it's been an interesting ride since then.
Sure has. That's his best win, huh? That Sage Northcutt win is his best win.
Yep. Ride that one out, dude. Ride that one out.
Got finished by Diego Sanchez in 2019. The same Diego Sanchez that won the Ultimate Fighter, I want to say in 2004, 2005.
Well, when you say it that way, dude.
Yeah.
Just say former Ultimate Fighting Champion, tournament winner.
Yeah.
All right. Now we also have Jocelyn Edwards versus Aileen Perez. Is she the one that was twerking after the end of her fight?
I don't know. Rich, was she?
Oh my god!
Fucking Rich on it, dude.
Right on cue. Oh man. But yes, we have Perez coming in minus 250, Dawson Edwards plus 210. Who you got in this one, Will?
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is gonna not. I don't know. This might be one of those real crazy bad blood fights. This might just be a straight up dog fight in there, because the last time Eileen Perez fought, Jocelyn might have been on the card too. Maybe not. Maybe she was just at the Performance Institute. They start talking shit, and then they get into a fight the day of Perez's fight, and then Perez and her coach are both fighting Jocelyn Edwards. Coach, who's a male, by the way, fighting Jocelyn Edwards. And then Perez is walking out to her fight with the black eye from that fight. And then the UFC's like, let's book that. Let's make that happen. So here we are. They got the fight. So there's definitely some bad blood here. I don't know. Maybe they've buried the hatchet since then. They're like, we're just going to have a good fight. Or this could turn into a real nasty fight. And there's something about Perez that if she's in a nasty fight, I think she probably might thrive in those type of fights. I can see her thriving in that.
Yeah, look, dude.
I don't have any technical analysis for this one.
I'd be lying if I said that I was going to be super excited for this one going in, even with all that drama.
This is the soap opera fight of the card.
Yes. So I'm going to do the only logical thing right now in picking this. Give me Perez.
There you go.
Give me Perez. It was heads right now. Yes, we're good to go.
And you should have made tails Perez because of all the twerking.
Oh, I see how you tied that in, actually. That was pretty creative, dude.
I just can't wait for... Oh, no, this isn't going to be Brandon Fitzgerald, huh? There's no way he's going to be doing this. That sucks.
Oh, yeah,
That's his girl, dude. Perez is his girl.
That's so funny. Yeah, what happened?
She's the
Yeah.
When she was on the fence. He's right there.
He's so funny. Oh, I love Fitzgerald. And then the last fight, or that we're going to cover, but the first fight on the card, Andre Lima versus Mitch Raposo. Let's take a look at the odds real quick. We have Lima minus 250, Raposo plus 210, Lima 8-0, Raposo 9-1.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't seen Raposo fight before. I don't know a ton of his. I tried to look at it a little bit this morning, but I couldn't really find much. Andre Lima has had his debut. Hey,
he has a win on the board in the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, and
due to biting.
Yeah, he got that bite on the arm. He got bit. His opponent got DQ'd, but it was a very fun fight. And both those guys. It sucks that he got kicked out of the UFC for that. If I'm being honest, obviously you have to punish him, but both of them were showing some sick ass work in that fight. And based off that, I think Lima is very promising. He already got his UFC out of the way, debut out of the way. Might have gone the weirdest way possible for a debut, but he still showed out and he looked really good doing it.
Less of an adrenaline dump?
He'll have less of an adrenaline dump. It was at the Apex. This is going to be in an arena, but this is Mitch's UFC debut. I haven't watched anything from him, so I don't really have any technical analysis for this pick, but I'm going through the intangibles, and the intangibles are telling me to pick Andre Lima.
I think this is going to be another banger, though, man.
Yeah,
just taking a look at Raposo's last 3 fights, won by right hand, win by knockout, win by knockout. Give me Raposo.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Raposo, do me a favor, dude. Keep your mouthpiece in your mouth. Do not fight Lima. Let's just have a good, clean fight. And who knows, though? It depends on who's reffing.
True.
Maybe Tagnoni's in there. He bites him. Tagnoni just gives him a.
This has Tagnoni written all over it. First fight of the card, dude.
Heck yeah, let's go. All right, and that's it. UFC 302. Those are our predictions. If you want, we can go through and recap really, really quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
So for the main event, I have Islam. You had Dustin. Oh, that's Rich. Yep. Rich, did you end up keeping track of these? Oh, Rich. God, doing work in the background, man. Not playing video games right now. Paying attention to the entire episode. I love it. So I have Islam, Paulo Costa, Kevin Holland, Almeida, Brown.
You missed some of them, though.
Oh, okay. I take that praise back.
No, he's on.
Tell you what, we'll just go fight by fight then. The main event, I had Islam. You had Dustin Poirier, right?
Yeah.
Co-main event, I have Paulo Costa. You have Sean Strickland.
Yep.
The next fight, we both have Kevin Holland. The fight after that, we both have Jolton Almeida. After that, we both have Randy Brown.
Ooh, boy.
After that, we get to Kopylov versus Almeida, right?
Yeah.
And I believe I took Cesar Almeida. You took Roman Kopylov.
Yeah.
There it is, Rich. Fill that sucker in there.
He's on it.
Yeah. Next one, Grant Dawson versus Zeleski. We both took Grant Dawson. You'll fill that one in right there. Next one, we both had Jake Matthews.
Yeah.
After that, we both have Alex Morono. We both have Basil Hafez. We both have Aileen Perez. And I took Raposo. You took Lima.
Yeah. Not bad. I'm glad we have some different opinions. Sometimes we'll do these and we're like, all right, we just all pick the same fights.
With the exception of like one.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes though.
Yeah.
So for anybody listening, for anybody listening, go through, submit your picks as well in the comments. We'd love to compare there in episode 302. We will even mention probably who ended up getting the most right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure we will.
Why not? So yes, next week we do have UFC 302 to look forward to. No Paige Van Zandt fights coming up, I don't think.
No, we're not going to cover that.
Yeah, not going to cover that.
Like, what even is that?
And is that it next week, Will?
Yes, that's it. And then the week after that, I believe we're doing a fight companion.
Ooh, for 167.
Yeah, 167 on Friday. Book it. Watch the fight with us. It'll be fun.
That should be a lot of fun. And in case anybody is wondering who produces this podcast, it's produced by none other than Mr. Richard Bustos. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to another week. Story of the Fight.